Hi there, and welcome to another episode of 411 Pop Culture, where real people talk about really everything. I'm your host, Justin Steele, and with me is Danielle Almendra. How are you doing tonight, Danielle?
I'm doing well.
Good. Well, we are super excited. We're going to start doing some little mini episodes. Some might be a little longer, but they really shouldn't be too much longer than a couple minutes. But what we were discussing during our My Sweet Audrina episode, and with Ruby coming up, and the amazing responses that we've been getting from these VC Andrews episodes. Thank you. Yes. Please keep coming. And please respond. Yeah. I love that having this sort of community of discussing VC Andrews, because the ghostwriter does too, but really with VC Andrews, she created a lot of mysteries. I think that's why we go back time and time again to read these novels. We obsess. Even if we hate the film adaptations, we still go and watch them every time, and we still love them as much as we hate them. So we wanted to start discussing with each other as well as with you some of the little mysteries that linger. And one of the big ones, in my opinion, that has been there since Petals on the Wind, during the confrontation, which is one of my personal favorite moments in all the novels. As much as I did love Petals on the Wind, the adaptation, I wish that a little bit more had been about that confrontation. But one of the things that has been revealed was, according to Corinne, Foxworth, Dollanganger, Winslow, that the grandfather knew the entire time that the 4 Dollanganger kids were up there. And so we're going to debate, did the grandfather know? The clues given by Corinne is that she said he knew the whole time, that he would constantly threaten her with it, he would beat her with a cane, he would constantly be like, wouldn't it be better if they were dead? Giving her the idea to kill the kids, which is why she never could let them out. However, on the flip side of the coin, in the confrontation, is that Catherine looks over at the grandmother, who is looking at Catherine, and Kathy's feel is like the grandmother's trying to say that's not true. Right. It's not true. Bart jumps in and he's like, I never once saw your father treat you poorly, etc. And Kathy concludes, no, mother, that's not true. But is it true? Another damning clue is in Flowers in the Attic. One of the chilling moments is at the Christmas party when you have Kathy and Chris in the chest, and the grandfather literally looks right at, and Kathy sees, knowing the kids are in there. So, please comment below, do you think the grandfather knew? What about you, Danielle? What do you think?
I think he absolutely knew. Before I get into my reasons why, though, I will say that when he looked at the chest, and Kathy swears that he saw her, he might have also remembered when Corinne used to be up there, and because he was sick, might have thought, like, he was seeing Corinne up there, like, like an imagination, something like that. But anyway, I still think that he knew. Okay? Here's why. This is a powerful, powerful man, regardless he was sick or not. And I'm telling you, he had her followed when she left, and he had detectives, he had money, he had means. He absolutely knew those kids existed.
Now, I think I might, for devil's advocate's sake, but I think I also believe that maybe he didn't know. But to defend that point of view, I find it hard to believe that it just so happens that the way that Corinne wrote the letters to the grandparents, that the kids were left on a second page that he didn't see, and then he was supposed to have sent the letter in a note separate from what the grandmother said, like, thank God you never had any devil's issue. It just seems like very convenient that he just kept missing these details, like that the kids don't exist. However, meaning that I think he did know, meaning
he had to know.
But at the same time, the grandmother, she said in Flowers in the Attic, he'll never know. Why bother even lying about it?
Well, okay. So here's my other point. First of all, obviously Malcolm, I haven't said his name in a while.
Right.
And Olivia, haven't said that name in a while, did not have a good relationship.
That's true.
So, if Malcolm knew, he might not have told Olivia. There's one thing.
Good call.
Secondly,
good call.
John Amos wanted that money.
Yeah.
He knew about the kids. He admired Malcolm. He wanted to be Malcolm. You think he didn't try to tell Malcolm about it, trying to get that money?
Not only that, but also the fact that, the grandfather, part of Corinne's reasoning is that the grandfather was kind of like when she's in the confrontation, she's basically like, wouldn't it be better if maybe those kids were killed? So the idea for Corinne to kill the kids, according to Corinne, is that she got it from the grandfather. But what if the grandfather got it from John Amos?
Right.
John Amos? But, like, what if that's how, as much as, because you're right, John Amos wanted that fortune.
Yeah.
Like, he's sort of in DC
like
Andrews Land in the Dollenganger series. I feel like John Amos is the true villain,
absolutely.
and there's a lot of bad characters in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean it's possible. But I think it's one of those enduring mysteries of, did the grandfather know? And VC Andrews, what's great about her is that she never completely gives you the answer. And I guarantee there's people out there that read the novels that have been thinking for years, like, well, of course he knew. That's what was said. And they're also like, of course he didn't know. That's what was said. But if you think about it, it never really got said. So please comment below. What did you think? Do you think that the grandfather knew the whole time?
Yes.
Or do you think it's possible that he never knew and the grandmother was telling the truth? Because it's all about, and that's what's, I wish, there was a way to have a book from every single character's point of view.
But the grandmother,
from Corinne's to...
The grandmother could have been telling the truth, because Malcolm might not have ever told her he knew. Let's not forget.
Exactly.
Let's not forget, people. He knew. Right here. Agree with me.
Yeah, or possibly not. But I think you make valid points. You're right. Like, just because the grandmother was convinced he didn't know doesn't mean he didn't know.
Right.
And, nobody knows what goes on between two people.
Right.
So even though Bart is all like, hey, I never once saw him treat you badly. You were like a princess to him. That's what.
Yeah.
Why would the grandfather beat her in front of Bart?
Or would kick his ass.
Why? It's kind of like, why would the grandfather add the codicil? Like, what a random thing. And like, just in case you ever did have kids, like, who comes up with that?
That's why he knew.
Yeah. I guess there's a little bit more evidence to suggest that he did know.
Like, why would he even put that in there if he hadn't suspected at all that she had children?
It's true.
And he wanted to punish her.
And like, he had plenty of money. He could have let Olivia have one sort of detective following, and he could have had another one following the whole time.
He could have paid that detective that Olivia had to lie and tell, Olivia, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he was a, cunning is the word I'm looking for. He was cunning. He was ruthless.
Even after his stroke, his heart stuck him.
Malcolm Foxworth. He was a scary dude.
Yeah. And he had a lot of scary dudes around him, like John Amos. Villain. Well, comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Thanks for watching another quick episode of 411 Pop Culture, where real people really do talk about really everything. Have a good one. John Amos